Welcome everyone. It's good to be back. Just let me know if you can hear my audio. Um, for those of you who are tuning in, just let me know if you can hear my audio. Um, cause this on my side I cannot hear the audio right, so just let me know um if you can hear me right. I think I'm gonna just do a double check. Let me just see quick. Okay, I can hear myself. I think I must have earphones or earplugs to hear myself. But yeah, it's good to be back, everyone. It's good to be back. Just let me know who's tuning in. You can say your name if you want to, and then you can also say I wouldn't say what's your highlight for today, but I will leave that for tomorrow, right? Because I know the CPI. Oh, that was I wasn't supposed to say that because that was actually one of the questions I had. Um, but yeah, let me know. Just pop in your name and also um, where you're from. It's good to know where's the students and potential students where they're tuning in, right? I know that there's gonna be a very exciting um, view of how the market can operate, right? So just let me know where you tuning in from. I see Kaylin is online as well. It's good to see you, Kaylin. Just holler at me if you can hear me. I see Carla's also here. As you know what, Carla, as you just you stating where you're from. I always take note of people who are constantly coming on live, on a live stream, um, because consistency beats everything, right? If you are consistent in one thing, it tells me a lot about who you are, irrespective if I don't know you from a bar soap, right? But just tuning in, being consistent, and learning, trying to learn how the market operate, as well as trying to get the edge within the market. There we go, always learning. Because Brian always say we're always a student, right? We always learn. So for the symbols that we're gonna focus on today's live, we have the US dollar index, right, known as the Dixie, as DXY. Um, we have also Euro USD. We have the triple Q, and then we have Bitcoin, right? The crypto. Uh, so cryptos they also up in there, right? So we're gonna have a very interesting, outlook. I'm very excited, right? I'm very excited. Um, First of all, okay, let me just carry on because I was gonna ask a question, but I actually answered the question, but I will ask it just a few minutes. I'm just gonna go a few minutes and I'm gonna ask a question, right? So for the Dixie, we have it's gonna be very interesting, right? So let me just take myself off the screen, but you can still hear me. For the Dixie, the US dollar, right? It's a very interesting time. Let me go from the Genesis, right? And I'm gonna go to how last week closed, right? So last week closed on a very high. You can see the buyers coming in. You can actually see this on a frequent on the daily time frame, right? So last week Friday, the CP, yes, Skyline say consistency is key, 100%. So on Friday we had the boosters come in with the non-farm payroll, right? When they came out, it was strong for for the dollar. And if it is seen in hindsight, we can see a double bottom, right? So the skill set works, the theory works. You must just identify that. Also, I always see candle structure as well on how the body of the candle closed, right? So it closed above our previous candle, in other words, our previous day. But also, if you look at the leg in, right, it actually closed above. So that's a very strong indication that the buyers are in, right? The buyers are in the market. And if you traded yesterday and today, and what I'm referring to now also from yesterday, it is so not yesterday, Monday, how the day opened and it's just um, the buyers kept on coming in the market, right? So the dollar was actually looking strong. The reason why my session breaks up is just to indicate the days. So this is the day, and this session break was yesterday, which is Monday. And then yeah, so Friday, also Friday close over there, right? At the 10, say we rounded out, so say by 104.9, right? 33. So 104.933, that's where it closed. And then yeah, yesterday, Monday, it rised, right? It actually went long. So I'm gonna still remove my session breaks. But if you have noticed, it actually followed this one, right? And like I said, I told the students who watched the weekly outlook, I said, you need to see at London session, how London session operates. If there's fast movements, or you know there is movement, but it's not so great. Um, and last I would say last week Monday, but yesterday we actually seen this pattern, right, operating. It didn't follow through as a pattern, but however, um, this pattern was the one that actually followed, right, breaking through this particular supply zone, right. So what I want to do now is identify a supply zone, right? Identify a supply zone right over there. So that will be our next opposing supply zone. And I'll just move that over there. So that will be our next opposing supply zone. So, pending how this week may operate, um, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So what I'm going to do is this. I normally draw out my trend line like this. Just to give me a little bit of framework, I move to a 1 hour time frame just to highlight that as well. So this particular trend line is just to give me a guide, right? Just to give me a guide. And remember what was our supply zone or our resistance now is our support, right? So we all see that. So once I have that as well, it can coincide of how the week can operate. Remember, I also highlight this particular demand zone because potentially there can be a retest, right? And with a retest, it will retest this particular downtrend line, right? So I know there's a lot of arrows now. I'm just trying to indicate the lines and demand zones that I'm referring to. So zooming in to where current price is, and keeping in mind this particular pattern, right? So we have it there now. Yes, it had, it is having a retracement below, was going short, right? A retracement going short. But in the comment section, this is a quick question for everyone who's tuning in. What is happening tomorrow, right? What is happening tomorrow? I want to see people's foresight regarding tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Anyone in the comment section, what is happening tomorrow, right? Because I want to see the growth. Who's taking note on the charts? There we go. The Fed speaks tomorrow. Come on, and what is happening before the Fed speaks? Right, there's also another particular uh, item that will, yeah, if I could put it in that context, item. Jason Seek is also in. Come on, money out account. Ah, no man, we don't trade like that, Jason. There's no money going out of the account. This coming. This money, your account is gonna grow. But who's telling? Who can ask also? Tell me what's happening tomorrow before the Fed speaks. There's also one interesting file that will come out, right? So I was gonna give a few seconds for that. If there's no answer, I'm gonna carry on, right? But while down there, caller Kendrick, the Fed speaks tomorrow, right? And it's a very interesting one. Tomorrow is gonna be like boom, boom, boom. It's gonna speak to the markets. So if you don't have it as yet, tomorrow we have the CPI. Yeah, the core CPI as well tomorrow. I'll push two. It's very important to understand the CPI, right? And you can do your homework. You can identify what that file is all about. And then we also have um, I've seen at 8. Yes, there we go. Yes, I thought I missed it, but at 8, yes, that's African Standard Time. But I know it can be tough. There we go. Jason and Kendrick just highlighted it as well. So tomorrow at 8 on South African Standard Time, but just have a look at your time zone where the federal funds rate, right? And if you have traded for a long time, um, you know, these things move the market, right? These things really move the market. Tomorrow's gonna be a change factor um, for the market. So just have a look at that. So tomorrow's gonna be a very interesting day. If you don't have it in your trading plan, or if you have a trading plan and you say you're not gonna trade, by all means, focus on your trading plan and focus on your rules for tomorrow. But even if you, okay, yes, class will be after that, right, for Coach Chadwin as well. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting day, and then follow up. You need to plan your week. Thursday as well. We have unemployment claims, also very crucial. That can also move the market. And then yeah, we just also look at Friday as well, right? For red files, and you take it from there. You also have the consumer sentiment, right? Also a red file for the USA, the dollar. So it's gonna be a very interesting week. And so once we have that in place, now we can understand, okay, right? Tomorrow during London session, how is price action gonna move? And then once you have that in place, or have a slight vision, or you can, throw out potential um, lines how the London will open, and then when London closed and they come into New York, um, you can, identify what will happen, right? Um, so like I said, tomorrow's gonna be a very interesting one. So what I have a vision for tomorrow. Um, and I just want to take out my session breaks. All right. Okay, so we have that over there, and just gonna remove it once more. So tomorrow is gonna be very interesting. What I'm seeing is, first of all, I'm seeing the gap, right? How many noticed there was a gap within the market? It's a very crucial sign. So moving this back here, I'm still highlighting this, right? If we do see a play or price action coming down to this demand zone, and there's a slight play, right? Price action can drop and immediately retrace, right? That is what I'm seeing. That can happen, right? But first have confirmation on this particular area, right? And then if London do this, because London can, London is unpredictable sometimes. It can retrace to the monsoon, and then suddenly it had a, there's a retracement, and then it can drop again, right? Before the news come out. Also have a look at that. The third option, you can let me just move this like this, that like that. Third option is, and this is like, this will be wild. Um, if you see this and price action is going here, right, and it's near the new side, um, for CPI, then yeah, from in my opinion, just pause a bit, because it can go long or can go short. Um, just because of where price is, right? Yes, you can have, or you can draw the curve from this supply zone, right, and that demand zone. But I would really take it from that supply zone and that demand zone. So it will be in between, and that it can go, either way, because it can go long, reach that supply zone and then drop, right. What I mean by that, smooth this to my left hand side. Price action, if it do sits here, it can reach to that supply zone and then drop, right. The reason why I say so is because of this gap, right. So that is what I have for the dollar. I already went in this in tips regarding that, right? Because if we come to the Euro USD, we also have a gap. We also have a gap happening over here. Same thing that is happening on the dollar, right? So yeah, there was a gap and it just broke through. And so for the Euro USD, I want to draw out my session breaks. I also want to highlight my Monday system over here, just to give a perspective, right? So that's my Monday box. Um, and then I'm just gonna draw out my Monday box arms, right? So For me, I consider this as a breakdown, right? So a deep break that box, the money box to the downside. What can happen now is because I have that the gap still considered on top, right? Um, Let me just remove that. So I have this gap sitting over here, which in essence, um, price action. If we are looking at it in this instance, let me just have a pause to. It is trying to make a double bottom, right? If you have seen that, so let me just move that to my right hand side. So it is having a double bottom, but it's not yet confirmed. However, theory has it on the money system. It always most of the time it has a full retracement, right? Um, to the money box, meaning if I throw out my pause to or take out my pause to price action can reach there, but also to the gap, right? And they can be unfold orders over there, and then price action can do whatever it wants to do, right? However, for tomorrow London session, you need to take consideration, and I like to go on my for this. I'll go on my 15-minute time frame. Now, can you see the candle structure? Rising up to this supply zone, uh, right? To the supply zone, you need to understand this, right? Candle structure reaching to that supply zone. It's a bit choppy in the sense of um, maybe now. Here we go. Price action is doing this, right? It's it's going long, but it's not showing anything in terms of uh, Gantt structure in terms of this, right? It is not showing clear path that is an uptrend, right? Where you can respect demand zones, etc. So have a look at this. If price action do turn, and it can be a possibility, right? If price action do turn on London, if it drops like this, then we can have problems, right? Um, Before the CPI report comes out. However, what I do notice, and this is my last point on this, if price action do go long, right? Before I do that, if price action sits in this particular area, right, and do go long, then it can drop, retest this demand zone, and then rise again, right? I have seen this in the past, and then this will turn into our demand zone, right? Because of the base is happening. So, in other words, what will happen will be this. So you have a rally, you have a base, you have a rally, uh, confirmation entry, and then go back up, right? So just move that to the side, and just have that vision within you, right? So that is the outcome that it can. I'm painting a lot of picture. Yeah, I'm painting a lot of images for you to understand how the market can operate. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things when you look at the market. But if you're catching value, just put the number 5 in the chat. I have explained a little bit in detail how the market can operate, right? Let's put a number five in the chat. Put a number five in the chat. Right. Okay, I see Jason is there. Um, Kendrick is also there, right? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, great stuff. Um, so the triple Q, let me just go on high time frame there. The triple Q look like this, right? And yeah, it's just one of those things. I did say it over the weekend, the price action can fall to complete this gap. But if you just take note, right, there's a gap within the dollar, a gap within uh, the Euro USD, and there's also a gap in the triple Q. So there's a lot of gaps, right, in each instrument or symbol, which also indicates that the market is telling us something, right? There's unfilled orders within the market. So just picture that when you are trading, right? So coming back to price action over here, I did say that price action may just drop and fill this unfilled orders, right, or reaches unfilled orders. However, if it doesn't, let me just go on a higher time frame. So the current price is actually at the moment, that's the highest it actually reached, right, over its history, right? Let me just zoom out there. So that's the highest it reached, right, over these past few years. And so there we have it, right? So you have a rally based rally going low to a lower time frame. Okay, so here we can see it, right? So I just want to highlight again, this is our trend line. There's our trend web. Um, we can just highlight certain patterns, right? How price action may operate. Um, but I also highlighted that, you know, I think I'm gonna go to the lower time frame, maybe 1 hour. There we go. What is actually happening now? It is this pattern over here, right? Um, and the reason why for this and that this, there was a reason why I said it because there was just a play within this particular area, right? Um, and if you just highlight this area, you can see that there was a consolidation. Now, when there is a consolidation, there can be, you know, a leg out, and once a leg out happened, is a strong leg out. As you're seeing that the leg out is going upside, so which means it went long, and that is actually happening, right? So this pattern is actually forming basically. With this, I cannot really say because there's no supply zone in hindsight of saying okay, price action will reach there. And so I'll be lying to you if it says gonna reach there this price point or this price point or going higher. But just bear in mind that this is what I'm thinking about. Um, is price action going long and finding that resistance and then dropping, right? But when it drops, it will try to form and have or reach this unfold orders coinciding with this particular uptrend, right? So basically, what I'm trying to show you is price action reaching a point and then dropping to this particular area. Um, but we can also do now is we can draw out another trend line. I'm bring over here and bolden up there also there, right? Just to have another, a little bit of a framework happening. I know it's a lot of, I know it's a lot of trend lines, but it's just giving us a perfect picture, right? I won't say a perfect picture, but just giving us a glimpse of how things will operate with this particular area. We can go to the 15-minute as well. Um, Evens there, right? Um, although there's a leg out to the upside of going long, but you know, is a leg out strong regarding candle structure, regarding opening and closing of these candles? You need to ask yourself these questions, right? And upon asking yourself these questions, if we do see this right happening, it is my pause to. If you're seeing this right, there will come a time where it will break to the downside, right? Because of testing this uptrend for quite some time, right? So also just have a picture that on the 15-minute, and then if you go to the high time frame, you can also basically see what will happen, right? Um, yeah, so that is what I have. Um, and then I also said it will come also down because of this unfold order sitting over here. So yeah, that's just the back of my mind when you're trading this. So let's have a picture regarding that. So that's why I said um, the overall picture is going short. However, we respect price action as it plays along, right? But hopefully tomorrow that will give us a good sign of how the our price action wants to move regarding the triple Q as well. Yeah, and then we have Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin dropped, right, like I think it was 3% today. Yeah, just above 3%. Bitcoin dropped. Let me just go on a higher time frame. Then we can see it, right. So remember, let me just go back to the triple Q. Now, can you see? I'm I'm drawing these trend lines just to give me a guide, right? And so when you see it on the, if you see it on Bitcoin, you can see. Okay, let me just redraw that from a nice, right. You draw from there. So now you can see more or less what price action wants to do, right? Let me just delete that so you can see much more better. Um, our price action, is respecting this uptrend. So it's testing over here, testing over there as well, and testing. We get the picture, right. But as soon as it came to this particular area, it just broke down. Now you can also move it like that, and it will now coincide also well in this particular area. Right. So if you are in Sarah's class, this is external, internal, simple, simple maths. Right. So we can see that that's just but like I said, that's the reason why I'm drawing. Sorry, that's the reason why I'm drawing these particular um trend lines, right? So remember, we're on a 4 hour. We're on 20 minutes, and then we want to see how strong This 4 hour candle closed above our previous one and the leg in one, right? You want to see it, right? If this 4 hour candle close above the leg in candle, then that's a there is things happening, right? But if you go to the 2 hour, you can just paint the picture, right? So just have that in mind. For tomorrow, basically this pattern is, is basically out in terms of maybe price action would have consolidate under this particular area and then drop. However, price action has another way forward, right? So what we want to do is this: we can draw out our next demand zone, right? Have the demand zone over there. We can delete that. And then what we can do also is highlight that particular area as well. So now it's a web happening. We can also delete this, um, just to have that picture, right? The sign, okay, right? If price action do consolidate, once it consolidate by testing that uptrend, right, it can drop, right? It can drop to the downside. How how deep and how fast, I cannot say that, right, because there's another demand zone happening over here. So also just pay careful attention to that. Um, yeah, so we can have that as well, or price action can. Okay, let me just go to the lower time frame to see this. Oh, sorry. Okay, on a 1 hour time frame. Yeah. So what price action can do is try to rise, reach that demand zone. I mean supply zone, and then drop a. But also, I'm just having a feeling that, you know because we have that as well. But price action can also do this, but it also depends on candle structure. Because if candle structure is going like this down, right, it can reach this demand zone and then also rally up, right? But yeah, let me just move that to the side. So it all depends how London falls, what news comes out there, and then you take it from there, right? So that is what I have for this week on Trade Talks. So hello to boy, if you're still with me, if you're still getting value, but that's the end of the stream. Hope you got value. I hope I prepared you. You know, we're not financial advisors, so we can't definitely say things need to go in that direction. But we also need to just point out, right, um, how price action wants to go, and the best for what I'm what I see now over the few weeks and months is just trying to show candle structure, because once you know candle structure, right, and come with the news, it's like that two together, it goes hand in hand, right? It can take you much further. And yeah, I'm still figuring out GU as well. GU is not top playing along. Um, so that's regarding the pound versus the dollar. But the pound is very strong, right? In these times, euro the euro played along, right? It had aversions with the dollar, but it wasn't playing out the same as the pound versus the dollar, right? So in this time around, the dollar is very strong. I mean, the pound is very strong towards the dollar. Um, so we just need to have a look after that as well. But yeah, that is what I have for this week. Um, and all the best for tomorrow. And have a great one, team. So thanks, Jason, and thanks, Kendrick, for your comments. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right. So that's it from me, team. See you next week. Same time, same place, right? So take care, everyone. Bye.